Hey yogis, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Alauna, and welcome to my studio here in Panama. Today's class is a full body power, so let's go ahead and get started in a comfortable seat to ground into our breath and power up there before we move into the body. So just grounding down in a comfortable seat, relaxing the shoulders, and maybe closing down the eyes if that feels comfortable. Just taking notice of your breath, maybe taking your first conscious breath of the day. Inhaling to fill the lungs completely, and exhale, release it completely. Slowly beginning to deepen your breath, telling your body that it's okay to relax, even if it is a power yoga class. So I want you to reframe your mindset around that, and just think of powering up your breath here. When you're ready, you can slowly tuck the chin in and blink the eyes back open and make your way into all fours, placing wrists underneath your shoulders, knees under hips, and taking a few cats and cows. Inhale to look forward, exhale to round through the spine, look between the thighs. Moving with the breath here, inhale forward and exhale back. And on your next inhale, find a neutral spine and extend the right toes to the back of your mat, maybe hovering the right foot up. And you can feel free to stay here or bring left hand to the right tricep, stabilizing yourself here. Then either stay here or bring the left hand behind the head, sending the elbow out. Then inhale to lengthen, exhale, crunch elbow to knee. Moving with the breath here, inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch it in. Taking a few more breaths on your own here, moving with your own breath. Then release the knee back down to the mat. Keep the hand behind the head as you open the chest and the hips towards the left, coming into a half side plank, keeping the elbow reaching high, grounding down through the right hand, right knee. Then lower both hands and knees to the mat, find all fours, and we'll take it to the second side. So, extending the left leg to the back of your mat, keeping the left hip drop down, maybe hover the toes off of your mat. Stay here, or bring the right hand to the left tricep. Engaging the core, stay here, or float the right hand behind the head, bending into the elbow, and inhale to lengthen. Exhale, crunch elbow towards the knee. Again, moving with the breath here, inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch it in. Moving with your own breath, taking your time here. And release knee to the mat and extend the right leg back behind you, opening the chest towards the right. And lower both hands and knee to the mat, and walk both knees back, tuck both toes under, and lift the hips up and back, find downward facing dog, pedaling out through the feet by bending into one knee and then the other, and slowly walk both hands back just a little bit, shortening your stance. Then take the left hand and reach it under to grab onto the right calf, coming into a twist, looking under the right shoulder, remembering to breathe here. Then release the left hand to the top of your mat, step the right foot forward, find high lunge, lifting the arms on an inhale. Then exhale, bring the hands behind the head and send the heart forward, finding a mini back bend. Then exhale, curl elbows towards the knee, and inhale, lift back up. Taking a few more breaths here. Exhale to curl down, inhale to lift back up. Then inhale, reach both hands up, and step the left knee in towards the chest, coming to standing. Then cross the left ankle over the right thigh, sit the hips down, find a figure four. And inhale to rise, reach both hands at heart center as you extend the left leg back, coming into your warrior three. Then slowly lower left toes down, inhale, lift back up. Exhaling to lower, inhaling to lift. Isolating the movement in the legs here. You can probably feel it. And carefully extend left toes all the way to the back of your mat. Come back to that high lunge. Inhale, reach the hands high. And exhale, hands to frame the foot. Step the right foot back and find a flow. So inhale, shift the shoulders forward. Exhale, lower down. And inhale, lift up, upward facing dog. And exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the feet. Then we'll move through the second side. So walk the hands back a little bit and take the right hand to cross under and grab onto the left shin, looking out underneath the left shoulder. And carefully release. Right hand comes back down and step the left foot forward. Find high lunge. Inhaling the arms high. Then exhale, hands come behind the head. And find that little movement. So inhale, send the heart forward. Exhale, curl the elbows towards the knee. Moving with your own breath at your own pace here. Making sure that you have enough space in the hips so the feet are wide enough side to side on your mat so that you can stabilize. Then inhale, extend both arms up and step the right knee in towards the chest. And cross the right ankle over the left thigh, sitting the hips back. Find figure 4. And inhale, bring the knee back into the chest. And exhale, float the right leg back. Find warrior 3. And slowly lower the right toes down. Inhale, lift back up. Moving with your own breath here. And carefully release right toes to the back. Find high lunge, inhaling the arms up. And exhale, hands to frame the foot. And step the foot back, finding your plank. And inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. And from here, taking tricep push-ups, so lower the chest back down as if you're going back to chaturanga. And inhale, lift up, upward facing dog. Just kind of bending at the elbows here, keeping the elbows stacked on the wrists, just moving with the chest. You should feel this one. I definitely did when I first discovered it. Just keep breathing, using your breath to keep you focused. And exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And inhale, look forward. And exhale, step or hop, both feet to the top of your mat, fold forward. And inhale, rise to standing, reach both hands up and overhead. And exhale, bring hands to heart center as you sink the hips down and back, find your chair pose. Then hover the left foot up off of your mat, pulling the left heel in towards the glutes. And extend the leg back behind you, then pull the knee back in. So you're keeping the leg floated as you're crunching it in and out, in and out, moving with the breath. Then lower the left foot back down beside the right, and switch sides. Pull the right heel in towards the glute, then extend the leg back behind you, and exhale, pull it back in. Then release the right foot beside the left, find your chair. And inhale to rise, reach both hands high. And exhale, release the hands by your sides. And turn to face the long edge of your mat, angling toes out, heels in, coming into a goddess squat here, so keeping the hips open. And bring the hands to the inner thighs here, make sure that you don't let the knees collapse in, keep them pressing out, nice and active through the arms. And once you feel stable, inhale, reach both hands up and overhead, interlace the hands behind the head, and find some tilts from side to side, bringing one elbow to knee, and then the other. Using your breath to isolate the movement here. visualizing the part of your core that you feel this in the most, and breathing into it. Not complaining about it, not whining, but just breathing. And once you feel even on both sides, you can go ahead and recenter and make your way to the top of your mat. And inhale, reach both hands up and overhead, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, plant both hands and step or hop both feet back, finding your flow here, taking some extra added push-ups if you're crazy like me and you feel like it. Again, totally optional, just doing what feels good in your body, and staying connected with your breath, all meeting in downward dog as you're ready. And inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, step your way there, and bring both feet to the outside edges of your mat. Angle the heels in, toes out, lowering the hips down into your Malasana squat. Bringing hands to heart center and finding your breath. And release both hands down behind you, lowering down into your seat. Noticing the chickens running behind me. And then coming into a seated figure four pose, cross the right ankle over the left thigh and walk the left heel in however much is comfortable. Just breathing here. And extend both legs out and switch sides. Left ankle crosses over the right thigh and walk the right heel in. Slowly release. And bring both knees in. You can either keep the heels resting on the mat, or you can lift both feet up, coming into your boat pose. And you can keep the hands behind the thighs, or extend the arms out long, or reach both arms overhead, or add this movement. Inhaling to extend, exhaling to crunch it in, pressing the lower back firmly down into the mat as you lower, and then exhaling to pull it back up. And this may or may not be my favorite move, so feel free to take as many as you like until you feel it in your core, and then gently roll all the way down onto your back, hugging both knees in, rocking a bit from side to side. And inhale, reach both hands up and overhead and interlace the hands behind the head. Pressing both elbows into the mat, gently let both knees fall towards the right, hovering them off the floor, and then inhale, lift back up. Exhale, drift the knees towards the left, keep them hovering, and inhale, lift back up. Moving with your own breath here. Trying to keep the entire upper spine pressed down into the mat as you rotate through the lower body. And come back to center, hug both knees in, maybe curl the forehead up towards the knees, make a little ball, and then exhale, slowly release. Arms by your side, soles of feet come down to the mat, walking the heels in towards the hips. You can either grab onto the outer edges of your mat or interlace both hands underneath the sacrum as you lift the hips up, pressing down through the feet, keeping the knees about hip width distance, and lengthening out through the crown of your head. And stay here, or you can take a figure four variation if it's comfortable in your knees, crossing the right ankle over the left thigh and pressing the hips high. And maybe switching sides, taking the same figure four variation on the left side, totally optional, do what feels best in your body. And then slowly release, both hips come down towards the mat, and inhale, lift them back up. Moving with the breath, exhale, lower, inhale, lift. Last little bit of power here, you got this. And slowly release, extending the arms down, hugging the knees in. Then Place the hands in between the thighs to grab onto the outsides of the feet. Find happy baby. Maybe rocking a bit side to side. Just taking any last little movements that might feel good within the body. And then bring soles of feet to touch. Knees go out wide. Resting the arms by your sides, finding a reclined butterfly. From here you can make your way into Shavasana at any time, or you can just hang here in reclined butterfly as your Shavasana. Your choice. So if you want, you can go ahead and extend the legs long. You find your stillness here, closing down the eyes if you hadn't already, coming back to the breath. Maybe noticing if the breath has changed at all during class, and notice if your mind has changed at all during class. Noticing where your awareness is, and if it's somewhere other than your mat, draw your awareness back to your breath, and just stay present for these last few moments of your practice. Slowly bring some movement back to the hands and to the feet, rotating through the wrists and the ankles. And inhale, send the arms up and overhead before you bend into both knees and roll over onto one side. Taking one final moment in stillness here before you gently make your way up into a comfortable seat. Placing the hands wherever is comfortable, either on the knees or bring hands to heart center. And take 3 final grounding breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. When you're ready, in 3, 2, 1. And slowly tuck the chin in and blink your eyes back open, coming back to the room around you. I thank you guys for joining me on your mats today. I'm feeling very worn out from this class, if you can't tell, but if you enjoyed, be sure to leave me a comment below, subscribe, do all that jazz, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye guys!